You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, General Hospital fans. It is Belinda from Soap Dirt, and I want to say right now that Jocelyn Jacks is absolutely right about Esme Prince. However, I don't think she's right in the way that she thinks she's right. So Jocelyn is smelling lies on Esme like stink on a skunk. And, you know, she is definitely Carly Jr. And she is right. Her instincts are right about Miss Esme Prince. But Jocelyn may be slightly off the mark too. And there's a reason for that. So we're going to dig into this. If you haven't, please reach down, click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our GH spoilers, news, and more. And now let's dig in. So this week we saw Jocelyn confronting Esme after seeing her with Spencer after the parenting class, looking friendly. They were having a friendly chat. Certainly, Spencer doesn't see Esme even as a friend. He's being cordial to her because of baby Ace, but he's got no warm feelings for his ex-girlfriend. But the reverse cannot be said to be true. So Joss just kind of raged. She told Esme, turn yourself in. And then she told Dex after Esme left that she thinks the old evil Esme is still in there. And I do think she's right about that the old evil Esme is still in there, but she could be wrong about the amnesia. I don't feel like she's faking the amnesia, but there could be a really big but about that. So actors don't know the storylines way ahead of time. Generally, and we've heard this in so many soap interviews, we've heard it in interviews we've done with soap actors, they are given the scripts. They act out the scripts as they are given. If they are not sure which way to play something, they'll go to the showrunner, the director, head writer, whatever, and just say, you know, I don't know where we're necessarily going long term, so how should I play this? And they will give us some directions, but they don't generally tell them. And so actors a lot of times are very surprised by twists until they get that script. So General Hospital may be planning to have a reveal where Esme does have her memories, but right now they're giving Avery Pohl scripts where she's still sounding like an amnesiac so that she's not unintentionally giving something away. You may remember that they did a real poor job back when Luke Spencer had DID. Everybody was calling him Luke and Fluke, like fake Luke, because the writers didn't seem to know where they were going, and it looked like he was going to be his cousin. It was just a mess. So GH does have a history of mishandling things like this, where it's like, okay, but if I go back and look at all this, none of that makes sense. So the main thing on Esme's mind right now is Spencer. She wants to take him from Trina. She is drawn to him in a way that she wasn't when they met in boarding school. You may remember that it was Ryan Chamberlain that ordered Esme to cozy up to Spencer. And she doesn't remember any of that now, but she has this crush on him that seems very genuine and new to her and growing. And Jocelyn is absolutely right to be keeping an eye on Esme. Remember, Esme asked Dex to give her well wishes to Trina about Curtis. And then she decided to personally butt in the conversation with Spencer and Trina and Portia and tell her how sorry she was to hear that her biological father was shot. But she was using phrases like, when Spencer and I were together and we heard about it, we wanted to tell you. She's using couple words to refer to her and Spencer like they're a unit. And it was very intentional. It was very manipulative. Trina noticed it, but she's so caught up in her grief over Curtis being shot, possibly paralyzed, possibly dying, that she just didn't get into it. She did not want to start anything with her. And then Esme walked away. But then you saw Esme kind of look back on the most recent episode with longing. She wants to be the one in Spencer's big buff arms. So Jocelyn, unlike Trina, is not going to let any of this slide. Just because Esme's memories are gone, her DNA is the same. And Jocelyn was quick to remind her of that her, her base bad instincts could still be in there. And it begs the question of whether is Esme inherently evil, even without her memories, even without having her parents around to influence her? Is she just evil and wicked at a cellular level. Next week on General Hospital, there are official spoilers about Esme in a search for answers, and I think that's going to lead her to Darkham Asylum, where her wicked mom, Heather Weber, has been remanded for the crime of being the hook killer, among many of her other crimes. And so Esme going to see her biological mother, I mean, what good can come of that? Esme seemed really horrified at the mention of her biological parents. Maybe she'll go to see if it's worse than she fears. Maybe it'll spark memories. Maybe she wants to get an understanding of Heather and Ryan, how they met, who they were as people, how they made her, how she came to be where she is now. And, she may also be worried that she's this bad person inside. And we have to say, Esme victimized Jocelyn in a horrible way. She taped her and Cam when they had their first time together. She released that video to the whole student body at PCU. What she did was criminal and nasty, and it is completely understandable that Joss would not believe a word that Esme says. She wants her jailed for her crimes, and it's understandable, rightly so. If that was done to you, you'd want the same thing. Joss might even conspire with Spencer to use that faked evidence that Victor Cassadine left for his nephew, his great-nephew. Maybe Dex would help them, because he was giving them some advice when Spencer was kind of cagily trying to ask about it, but then ridiculously that turned into a fist fight between the two. I don't even know why that broke out. It was so random. But Jocelyn may go behind her best friend's back, trying to protect her from evil Esme. Meanwhile, at the same time, also behind Trina's back, Portia Robinson wants Spencer gone, and she is actually encouraging Esme to pursue Spencer. She's trying to be cagey about it, but Portia is trying to push Esme together with Spencer, and that is definitely at odds with Jocelyn's agenda to push Esme out of the way and keep Spencer happy with Trina. If Jocelyn figures out what Portia is doing, she might rat her out to Trina. And that would be a big mess because she wasn't talking to her mother for quite a while over the whole Curtis lie. For Sabrina fans, this just seems like too many obstacles before they even get to be happy. They haven't had any alone time. They haven't got to be intimate. And usually there's some happiness and then a new crisis. But there are other things at work here. We're going to talk about those in 1 second. But if you haven't, please reach down, click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our General Hospital spoilers, news, and more. We'd love it if you clicked a like on this video as well. Right now, Spencer and Trina are coming off of the Victor Cassadine crisis, and now they've got Esme trying to wedge herself in there. We've got Curtis, the reveal he's her biological dad, and then him getting shot. It's just so much. But Jocelyn Jacks is totally right that Esme Prince is still a threat. She is right to protect her friend, but I'm really wondering if she is going to channel her mom Carly and take things too far. What do you guys think?
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.